Now to Senator Durbin.
Thanks, Chairman Grassley. Before we hear from the nominees, I want to take a moment to speak about the ongoing attacks on the federal judiciary by President Trump and his allies. Last week, President Trump called for the impeachment of a federal judge simply because he ruled against the administration. He characterized that judge as a lunatic. The president was not alone. Elon Musk, the unelected co-president and the richest person in the world, has demanded the impeachment of federal judges dozens of times, and House Republicans quickly bent a knee and rushed to introduce articles of impeachment. I understand members of the Senate are also cheering that effort on. In response to this unprecedented attack on the federal judiciary, Chief Justice Roberts issued a rare statement. It read, and I quote, "For more than 2 centuries, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose," end of quote. We cannot afford to wait and see if this president formally announces he will defy a court order. We must respond to this dangerous attack on our courts and judges now. Some right-wing activists have argued that impeachment is necessary because of the number of injunctions issued against President Trump compared to other presidents. They claim that this is evidence that federal judges are biased against this president. I would suggest there's a simpler and more plausible explanation. The number of injunctions issued against first and second Trump administrations is evidence of a president who repeatedly tests or violates the law. The danger posed by the Trump administration's attack on the judiciary is not abstract. I recall when there was a demonstration outside the home of a Supreme Court justice, we heard over and over again that we should never condone violence in the pursuit of political goals. I joined in that chorus on a bipartisan basis and hope to hell that my colleagues on the committee will do that today because we have this serious attack on the judiciary taking place. It's not abstract. The recent invective by the president and his allies has resulted in increased threats to the lives of judges and their families. This is unacceptable in a constitutional democracy. We can debate the value of nationwide injunctions and the merits of any particular judicial decision, but violence or threats of violence, whether from the right or the left on the political spectrum, are never, never acceptable. I urge all my colleagues on both sides of the aisles to join me in opposing this ongoing attack on the judiciary. Unfortunately, Attorney General Bondi and other officials at Justice have repeatedly shown that they will not defend the separation of powers. Their loyalty lies with the president. It should lie with the American people and the Constitution. The loss of an independent Department of Justice is not only a threat to the rule of law, it makes our country less safe. This is especially true of our national security. Since the start of this administration, every senior career National Security Division official has been removed from their position, every one of them. Following this purge, one former Justice Department official said, and I quote, "There's literally no one at home. The lights are off." That is a disturbing statement. It reflects a serious problem that cannot be easily fixed. Among today's nominees is John Eisenberg, who dropped by my office yesterday. We had an opportunity to discuss his aspiration to be leading the National Security Division. I hope for the sake of the nation, that Mr. Eisenberg is willing to place country above any personal allegiance to any political figure. We're also going to hear from Patrick Davis, nominated to lead the Office of Legislative Affairs. At her confirmation hearing, Attorney General Bondi committed to Chair Grassley that she or her top staff would, quote, personally review oversight requests from all members of the committee and do, quote, everything we can to respond to you. I have sent more than 20 oversight requests to the Trump administration. I have yet to receive a single meaningful response to the vast majority of them, including 7 to the Justice Department. When the shoe was on the other foot and I chaired this committee and they refused to respond to Chairman Grassley's similar request, I stood up for him and I was happy to do so. Whether you're on one side of the table or the other, you're entitled to the dignity of a request and professional treatment. Mr. Davis, I hope that you'll take that to heart. I'm also concerned about legal arguments Mr. Shoemate, who's been nominated to lead the civil division, has made since returning to the Justice Department. While all attorneys have a duty to zealously advocate for their clients, which of course includes the U.S. government, they must do so within the confines of the law. Yet, in defending President Trump's executive order restricting birthright citizenship, Mr. Shumate claimed any judicial order blocking it would be, quote, wildly inappropriate, his words. That is an unacceptable position for a Justice Department official to take, especially with respect to an order that is patently unconstitutional. As the judge presiding over the case stated, and I quote, I am having trouble understanding how a member of the bar could state unequivocally that this order is constitutional. The disintegration of an independent Justice Department before our very eyes, including the removal of key national security and counterterrorism officials, should be alarming on both sides of the table. The department is critical to protecting America's public safety and protecting the rights and liberties of all Americans. I hope to learn more about these nominees' commitments to these efforts and look forward to their testimony. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.